Hey everyone, welcome back to AK Academy and AK Expenses Tracker. It has been a long time, more than 2 months, but here we are back on the track. So let's make a quick reminder for what we have built recently. So the last thing what we have built is uploading an attachment so we can use in the system. We have built a repository for the cosmosdb so we can save the URL in there and the type of the file and some metadata, in addition to writing the code that stored the actual file in the Azure blob storage, right? All of that's happening in the emulator, but we go to the cloud, we're going to change the connection strings. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Computer Vision API, so how we can add incredibly powerful AI capabilities into our application very, very easily. The Computer Vision APIs, or basically the overall Azure Cognitive Services that you can find on Azure, allows you to do very powerful and complex AI tasks just by consuming an API. Computer Vision is one of them, and it allows you to analyze the content of an images and videos. So if you check their official website, you can find the link in the description box below. A lot of things can happen, like you can analyze, for example, the example they have in here, that camera in the store that detects the queue of the customers and the waiting time for them, and too many other complicated stuff. But we're not going to go that far. We are adding this just to show you how you can take advantage of the Azure Cognitive Services. So what we will be doing in our case is just validate the images that's being uploaded by the user. The user can upload a file. It's either like PDF, Word document, Excel sheet, or whatever, or an image. So what we want to do is that to make sure that the user is uploading an actual invoice or a bill or something like this, and he's not uploading his house image, for example. Of course he can do that, but as I've said, I'm just doing this just to show you how you can add AI to your apps, because in addition to the powerful capabilities, like if you are building an app around AI services like this, or you can just take advantage of those features available out there to make your app more efficient. Because let's take an example that we have in here, and it will go with the same flow. Imagine you are building a house renting marketplace for public, so homeowners can upload their houses and add the metadata, upload images and stuff like this. So this app is built for public, anyone can use it. So you need a content moderator or something like that to make sure that the content of the website is going good, but you can use some Azure Computer Vision APIs, like to reduce the risk of having such an errors. For example, the homeowner has to upload a house image, so he cannot upload like a car or something like this. So what you want to do is this little architecture in here that we have the same, but we are having Azure functions instead. When the user uploads a file, you go to the Computer Vision API or the Cognitive Services API, and you make sure that you validate the content of the image. So if it is house or something related, you retrieve the results. Then if it's not, you're going to return an error for the user. So basically you are adding like an extra security layer for your app and the content of your app. But if it's okay, you can just store it in the blob storage and the cosmosdb. In our project, this step is optional. You can just skip it if you are not interested, or you can even comment out the code. It's not mandatory, but we are just doing it mostly for learning purposes and to reduce the amount of useless attachment that we have in our blob storage. So let's go ahead and get started. I will open the project in here, and we have a function we created called upload attachment, and inside that what basically it does, take the file coming from the HTTP request, try to save it to the storage service, and if the process happens successfully, it saves the file it saves the URL to the database. Before we save to storage, here we have already a to-do comment. We need to make a call to the Microsoft Computer Vision API, so basically we can validate the content of the image. In the documentation in here, one of the Computer Vision's features is the image categorization. So basically Microsoft has around 86 category hierarchy that tells you overall what is this image. Of course, there is much more than that. It can tell you image detections, face detections, tags, and descriptions about what is their object detection, but we are interested in the categorization part. which says like this image is person, this image is text, this image is number, or something like that. So what you want to do, this is how the result we are going to receive. If you are calling the API straightforward using, let's say, so you see in here, food, bread, so it does a lot. So we're interested in the first part in here. We need it to be numbers or text, something like, or document, paper. I think they have this because I've already tested that with the console and it's working fine. But we are not going to call the API straightforward. Microsoft luckily has a very advanced SDK, so we are going to take advantage of that, so the process will be very easy. But before we get started writing the code, let's go to Azure in the Cognitive Services section. If you go to Azure in here and you search for Computer Vision, so if you open up the Computer Vision, so you can create a new Computer Vision resource in the Cognitive Services. So let's pick expenses tracker. Sorry, I'm searching the subscription. Okay, we don't have a resource group for that. This one requires an Azure subscription. So if you don't have one, you can just simply ignore those videos. So I will call it RG, expenses tracker. Expenses tracker. Okay, that's very good. Okay, I'll put all the stuff in the East US. Okay, then the name. Computer Vision. Okay, that's a long name, but it's fine. We can use the free tier, 20 calls per minute. That's a lot. Like for each moment where we have 20 calls per minute. Okay, that's so great. So let's hit review and create. Wait a second until it gets created. Awesome. So right now we have the Computer Vision endpoint has been created for us. What we are interested about in here is basically going to keys and endpoints, and we need only the key and the endpoint for this. So you can hit show keys, or you can just click copy to clipboard, so you can have the key one and the endpoints available for you. So to keep this video short, we have described what we are going to do. I have created the required resource. So right now in the next video, we are going to write the code that will actually make this happen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the share button if you actually enjoyed this and you want to share it with your friends as a kind of support. So thank you so much, and see you in the next video.